It's a golden era, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Ball with Black Star. And today I'm going to look at what I truly believe is the golden era of QB play in the NFL and show you why it has never been better than it is presently today. As you know, traditionally in the NFL, the game used to be played a lot differently. You know, the game was centered around running backs, the running game, and the defense. And, you know, you had quarterbacks doing very, very limited stuff. You know, on third down, you know, they were required to use play action and make a play here or there. However, the focus of the game is so much different now. And I think the reason for that is that it starts in college, where players now in college, they are a lot more developed, you know, coming into the league. We've seen it in the last 6 years or so, where players are in their first or second years are truly dominant QBs. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is because of the college game and the way the college game is played. You know, coaches are developing QBs a lot more in college now. A lot more responsibilities put on them to run the offense. Running backs are not really the dominant thing in football, in the game of football anymore, period. Whether it is college or pros, the game has shifted. You know, traditionally back in the days, the running back was the center of the offense. You know what I mean? Having a good offensive line, you have a great running back, and then the QB, he would play off of that with play action, and, you know, use his running game to good effect. However, now the game is a lot more different. You know, we have a lot, you know, more spread offenses where guys in college are running spread offenses where, you know, the QB is the center of the offense, and this has carried over to the NFL. So what have we found in the NFL now in the last 6 or 7 years? I came up here with a list of QBs 30 years old or under who are excellent players, who the league has never been better. Let's take a look at the AFC first. You know, we have Josh Allen there in the AFC East, who's an outstanding player. In the AFC South, you have Trevor Lawrence, who was a former #1 pick, very good player. CJ Stroud, who was Rookie of the Year last year, came in, had a banger year, led the Houston Texans to the playoffs right out the rip. We have AR-15, who, you know, he's a great athlete, you know, still has some work to do on his passing game, but there's a lot of potential there. And then, of course, we have the established guys in the AFC. We have Justin Herbert, you know. He hasn't done anything much in the playoffs, but he's been fantastic in the regular season in his career. And then we have the three big dogs over there, who would be Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, who, you know, between them, you know, they're littered with hardware. I mean, Joe Burrow hasn't won any hardware, but Lamar has won 2 regular season MVPs. So has Mahomes. Mahomes has won 3 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl MVPs. You know his story. And then in the NFC, we also have some very good young QBs. I know in the East, we have Jalen Hurts, you know, who made a Super Bowl 2 years ago. You know, he's leading the Eagles, has had a very solid career. We have the brilliant rookie also in the East, Jaden Daniels, who's come through this year with a brilliant start to his career. And he's brought all kind of hope to that Washington franchise. And, you know, there's new excitement in the capital of the nation this year because of him. In the South, we have Baker Mayfield, who has resurrected his career brilliantly in Tampa Bay after some struggles in Cleveland. He's really turned it around, and he's actually been excellent for a season and a half now in Tampa. We have the #1 pick, Caleb Williams, who's starting to look like a real ball out there in Chicago. I like the way he's looking. He has the Bears playing good ball. And then over in the West, we also have 2 excellent QBs, Kyler Murray and Brock Purdy. I mean, I coming into this 2024 season, I had Kyler Murray as one of my MVP favorites, and he's done nothing so far to disappoint me, even though the team record is not that great, but they've had one of the more difficult schedules in the NFL. They've played some really, really top teams, and I expect the Cardinals to get better as the season moves on. They had a big win over a division rival in their last game, San Francisco. So I think that will propel them in their season. So as I look down that list that I just gave you there, ladies and gentlemen, and I counted them up, you know, I just counted up 14 excellent QBs. That's 14 excellent QBs I just gave you, and all of them are either 30 years old or younger. And then also you have a few guys who are just, you know, just over the 30 mark, like the Dak Prescotts of the world and the Jared Goffs of the world, and You know, those guys are excellent QBs as well, you know, very good established players in the league. And it just goes to show you that the depth of QB play has never been better in the NFL. It has never, ever been better. And I don't care what nobody says. I know some traditional old guard people will say, oh, this is not so, but believe me, folks, I've been watching the NFL for a very, very long time. And as I said, you know, kudos to the college coaches for developing these guys. We've seen guys coming in their first year. We saw Mahomes winning the MVP in his first year as a starter, first full season as a starter. So too did Lamar Jackson the very next year. You know, he started every game. He won the MVP. That was his first year starting every game, even though he started some games in 2018. And then since then, we've also seen Kyler Murray in his second year have an excellent year, was a top MVP candidate in his second year. Didn't win it. Got hurt towards the end of the year, but he was in it, in the discussion for a very long time. And then just last year, we had young CJ Stroud coming in, setting the league on fire in his very first year. Excellent, had a great year, led the league in a lot of passing statistic categories. You know, led his team to the playoff, won a game, had an excellent playoff run. And then this year now, we've seen two young, excellent QBs come into the league. Jayden Daniels is here. He's looked excellent, magnificent, leading the NFL in completion percentage and all that. Has turned Washington around. They have a winning record at this stage. I think they have the second best record in the NFC. And then we have Caleb Williams up there in Chicago, who has also turned their season around. They also have a winning record there, 3-2. He's looked excellent after a slow start in his first 2 games, but the last 3 games he's really, really played well. So I think the NFL is really in a golden era. It's poised to break out. It's gonna be really, really interesting to see going forward which one of these QBs will remain at the top of the pile. Of course, you know, Mahomes is the big dog. He's the man. He's the guy everybody is chasing. And it just shows you the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, that in an era where there were so many great young QBs, that he could be this dominant is kudos to him, you know. So those are my thoughts on this topic here. I just think this is the best era for QB play in the NFL ever. Traditionally, we never had more than like 6 excellent or 3 or 4 excellent young QBs in the league. But here I am listing off a list with 14 guys that potentially could. I mean, some of them are already established stars, excellent stars like Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, you know, Kyler Murray. Those guys are already established in the league, you know, those are entrenched starters. But then you also have these other guys who are just coming up who look excellent, you know what I mean? Look excellent guys like Jayden Daniels, Caleb, you know, Brock Purdy had a great year last year. So, you know, it all bodes well for the future of the NFL, and let's see how it goes as we go forward here. But those are my thoughts on this golden era QB. And if you like the video, ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, subscribe, share, and help us to grow the channel. And we'll see you soon again here on Ball with Blackstar. Peace.